Hi, I'm Sheryl with the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. Today I'm going to show you how to do mindfulness art doodles. Now mindfulness is kind of like Zen. It's almost a meditative process. What you'll do is you'll quiet your mind and let everything go but your art. It's a very easy process. You just need paper and a marker. And this is what we end up with. At its most basic, you just need paper and a black marker for this, and we'll show you how to make that. If you want to get a little bit more fancy, you can add a color to your black and white design. Or you can do the design in a different color like this. Now the size of your marker is going to determine the final look. This one was done with a large marker. This one was done with a fine tip black marker. You'll see the difference in the delicate swirls on this side and the bolder swirls on this side. It's completely up to you which you choose. I like to use a combination of both size markers. You can also color in two different colors and eliminate the black boxes altogether, except for the border. You're also allowed to do this in colored pencil or in a rainbow style. It's strictly up to you. So what you'll need for one of these doodles is a piece of paper and a marker. That's it. Now, if you have cardstock, I would kind of recommend that because the marker does not bleed through the cardstock. If you don't, just stick another piece of paper underneath of it. You will need at least one marker. Preferably, I like to use a finer marker to do the swirls, and I like to use a thicker marker to fill it in. But you only need one. Now this is going to be a meditative process. You're supposed to relax. It's not going to be perfect. So when you do this, sit back, get yourself a cup of tea, put on some nice calming music, and have fun with it. How you start anywhere on the paper, and you're going to make spirals that overlap each other, and you're going to end up where you started. So I'll start in the middle. Big circles, small circles, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you end up and close the loop of where you started. And that's all there is for the outside part. Now you're going to fill it in. Now you are going to start with one of the outside edges, filling it in. If you do that, you'll end up with something like this. If you start with one of the inside parts, you might end up with something that looks like this, where the outside is not filled in. And that doesn't look as good because you have the white next to the white. We want to form more of a checkerboard pattern with the white and the black alternating. So when you have white paper, start with the color on the outside. And now it's just relaxing, letting your mind go, and filling it in. Now, when you've got one filled in, you're going to start filling in the rest. However, you have to be careful because you don't want to fill in ones that have long sides together because that will just form one big block. What you'll do is you'll go to the corner of one of the parts you just filled and do the one that's the opposite corner to it. So I'll be filling this one in. And then I'll go to the next corner And I'll fill this one in. Fill that all in. Go to the corner and fill it in. If you get to points up like here, where there's lots of lines together and you're not sure which one goes next, just stop, skip that part, and go back to another part that you do know. Leave that part till last, and it will be obvious which blocks you need to fill in at that point. So I'm just going to sit back, relax, let my mind go, and I'm going to fill in the rest of my doodle. And there's my finished art doodle. If you want to keep going, you certainly can, using another color. You can also fill it in with rainbow. If you've got a whole set of markers, feel free to color in each section a completely different color. Try going in rainbow order. All the blues, all the greens, the yellows, the oranges, reds and pinks, and purples. That's a great way to do it. Now, the bigger your initial swirls are and the less swirls you do, the bigger your blocks of color are going to be. If you want to get a more detailed, intricate design, you can do more swirls and smaller swirls. The only thing about that is if you do the smaller, more intricate swirls, you may end up with parts here where it's a little bit more difficult to tell where the blocks of color are supposed to be. So start with something loose swirls first, and when you get the hang of it, then go on to some more intricate and smaller swirls that overlap a lot more. So that's it with our art doodles. We all need something in these trying times to reset our emotions and quiet down our mind. And this is a great way to do that. Come back next time for more online programming from the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library.